अभी जस्ट बात हुई मेरी नवीन विष्णु को कर रहे ज्वाइन एक मिनट।
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Bol.
Let us wait for 2 minutes.
Okay.
I think we can start with japa.
Okay. Haribol. Today I'll be talking about the 5th verse in the Sri Shikshastakam, which says, O son of Nanda Maharaj, I am your eternal servant, yet because of my own karma I have fallen into this terrible ocean of birth and death. Accept this fallen soul and consider me a particle of dust at your holy lotus feet. In this verse, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu prays to the Lord. He begs to be seen by the Lord and to be taken care of by Krishna. He completely surrenders onto Krishna, depending on him for protection. He is in such a humble state of mind that he says, Consider me a particle of dust at your holy lotus feet. This is the mood that we should strive to be in. Here it is also explained that we should take guidance from the Supreme Absolute Truth, Krishna. Other people who aim to surpass the life of enjoyment and exploitation, they follow the Upanishads. However, we have the Supreme Lord. We don't need anything else besides his holy name in order to surrender. Now let us all chant one round together. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swamini Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunivadi Patra Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Rita Giridhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Nava Yogendra Swami Ninti Namne Namaste Prabhupada Deve Nam Sankirtan Pracharine Nivishesha Sunyamadi Pashtadi Ishtarine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Ninti Namne Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nivishesha Sunyamadi Pashtadi Ishtarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Kadadhara Sivasati Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So welcome to our weekly program for Kishore group. So today we're going to Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So today we're going to talk about temples. So we have two activities. I hope that you guys on the WhatsApp, I sent some articles. There were a few articles. So we'll review that and we'll have a small discussion on that. So let me share my screen. So 1 second. Okay, so give me a 5, you can see my screen. Good. So the Vedic temples are something which is very special in India and nowadays all over the world, because we have different magnificent temples all throughout the world. If you see the ISKCON temples, wherever we have, when Srila Prabhupada was here on the planet, he laid emphasis of establishing different temples in different parts of the world. तो प्रभुपाद जी ने 108 मंदिर का स्थापना किया जो प्रभुपाद जी इस धरती पे थे. So our main temple is in Mayapur, our headquarter. और भारत में अनेक अनेक विशाल टेम्पल स्थापित किए हुए हैं. प्रभुपाद जी कहते थे मुंबई जो है वो हमारा ऑफिस है और वृंदावन जो है उनके प्रभुपाद जी के घर जैसा है. It's my home. And Mayapur is a place of pilgrimage type. So significance of these Vedic temples. हम देखते हैं कि एक great scholar था, Mircea Eliade, एक काफी great scholar है आर्किटेक्चर में. उन्होंने क्या किया, क्या बोला कि अपने एक्सपीरियंस के द्वारा उन्होंने अलग अलग मंदिर को देख करके जो भारत में जो मंदिर है, the different temples in India, when he saw this different temple, analyzed his different temples, he made this conclusion. So any volunteer who wants to read the structural significance of Vedic temples. Let's see who is there. Kushi, Ria, Samira. Samira, you want to read, Samira? We can start with you. Haribol. If Samira is not here. Ria.
Yes, Prabhuji, I am reading.
Okay.
According to the late scholar Mircea Eliade, temples are explicitly recapitulations of the body. The symbolic blueprint of the temple is the Vastu Purush Mandala, a diagram drawn on its future site. This diagram incorporates the directions, the lunar mansions, the planets, demigods, and human body. Symbolically transmits their forms to the temple rising about it. Indian architectural manuals explicitly liken the temple to the body. The door, the mouth, the dome. Above the spire is the head. Just like the human skull has a suture from which the soul at death departs to heaven. Similarly, the dome is pierced with a finial, and the inner sanctum of the temple is the place of the soul. Since the temple represents a human body, the journey into the temple represents a journey within oneself.
Thank you, Ria. Very nice reading. तो यही है कि जो जितने भी मंदिर हैं, जो हमारे वैदिक टेम्पल्स हैं, ये वास्तु शास्त्र के अनुसार बनाए गए हुए. और ये वास्तु जो पुरुषा है, actually Vastu Purusha is a shadow of Lord Shiva. And not only the temples, the house as well. So the house as well is considered to be, should be constructed according to Vastu Shastra. And this Vastu is the Purusha, the Vastu Purusha is like the shadow of Lord Shiva. And the head usually is facing north and the feet is facing south. So for if it is here, our subject matter is Vedic temples. You can see in this picture on the side how a person is, the Vastu Purusha is like compared to a human body. Now the human body is like that, and the temple is also, the temple structure is also laid accordingly to that. So the Gopuran is the feet of the Lord, of the God, of the particular temple. That's a Gopuran. So whenever you're going in South India, you'll see the Gopuran first. So that's the lotus feet. Then you come in the center, you will see that if just like the different chakras, the Muladhara, Swadhara, Mashpara, Arat, Vibhatata, these different names are given. So this is how the different parts, and the head is here at the other end, the north end, and you will see here the shikhar, or the dome. So this whole temple was being made, actually constructed based on this body. And this temple representing human body. So this like a journey into a temple. When we go into the temple, it's like going inside, like a journey inside the temple. and that actually represents a journey within ourselves. So, so the image in our heart, there's also a temple in our heart where Krishna, where the Paramatma resides. So that temple is a symbolical replication of the of our soul meeting the super soul, connecting the soul to the divinity in the heart. So that was the main object of having a temple. And here you can see a much more better diagram. The Gopuram is here, the feet, and Dwaja Stamba. Dwaja means flag, and the Lingam, Tattvana. So that is this is where the flag is usually in a temple. And then these are different chakras that we have in the body. The Muldhara chakra, Swadhisthana, Manipur chakra, uh, and Vishuddha, and all these different chakras are there. So these are different. The body, the whole body is being represented by the structure of the temple here. So, for instance, the lingam is here, and then you enter here. There is Adhikara Nandi Shiva. Okay, Nandi is there for Lord Shiva temple usually. This temple is a Shiva temple, so that's why you will see here you have Nandi, the Adhika Nandi here, and then in the center we call the Mahamandapam, which in the center is open space here for people to come assembled and to get darshan. And then we have the Mula Lingam in the inside, the first part, uh, or the Akshanda Lingam Parama. This is the place of the head. So this is a very nice plan. Let's see the Vaishnav temples. This temple is supposed to be the biggest, the highest temple, Vaishnav temple in the world. This is our headquarters in Mayapur, Bengal, and that would be a very special temple where it's very scientifically built, and the whole universe, the different creation of the Lord, both in the spiritual sky and the material sky, will be represented in the dome. So that will be a very wonderful temple to visit in the future. So Vaishnav temples evoke a sense of awe and reverence. At the same time, they evoke also a sense of intimate association with the divine. जो वैष्णव मंदिर है, जो हम लोग पूरा भगवान का जो पूरा पूजा और आदरणीय भावना से हम लोग पूजा करते हैं, लेकिन ये भी है कि वैष्णव मंदिर जो है एक प्रेमी रिश्ता भगवान से जोड़ने की कोशिश करते हैं, इसीलिए स्थापित होते हैं भगवान के जो विग्रह कहते हैं. So the divinity in the heart of the temple refers to the special feature of Vaishnav worship. तो जब वैष्णव जो सेवा करते हैं भगवान का, ऐसा नहीं है कि ये मूर्ति सेवा हो रहा है. It's not like idol worship. There's a difference between idol worship and deity worship. So the deities, जो विग्रह है, इसको in Sanskrit we say vigraha. So that personal presence on the altar in a form of deity is considered as Sakshat Bhagwan. So it's in technically in Sanskrit it is what Archa Vigraha. So this Archa Vigraha जो भगवान का जो स्वरूप है, ये हम लोग प्राण प्रतिष्ठा करते हैं जब भी whenever we establish the deities according to the scripture, Shilpa Shastra. According to the scripture, there's this Vigraha, the Archa Vigraha is being produced out of marble. There's different while we go in the next slok in Srimad Bhagavatam, we're going to talk about that, how the deities are being made. And then the Lord is being invited to reside. Avahan karke, usko sthapit karte hain, usko karte hain murti sthapna. So when that happens, the Vigraha is not considered to be like an idol worship. It's deity worship because it's also known as an avatar. And this is proven in Srimad Bhagavatam. In Srimad Bhagavatam, let's read this. Who wants to read? Uh, okay, Samira can read the Shrimad Bhagavatam 11:27-12.
Srila Jiva Goswami explains that certain
Oh,
deity forms.
one second. Can you read the Sanskrit also? Okay, if you're not comfortable, I can read the Sanskrit. Then you can read the English part. It's in Shrimad Bhagavatam 11, Canto 27, chapter text 12, and the shlok is Sheli Daru Mai Lohi Lepya Lekya Cha Sekati Mano Mayi Mani Mayi Patti Masta Vidasmrita. You can read the translation, Samira. Hello?
Hare Krishna. Actually, I was not able to unmute.
Okay,
Uh,
please
the
read the
deity,
translation.
the deity form of the Lord is said to appear in 8 varieties: stone, wood, metal, earth, paint, sand, the mind, or jewel. Srila Jiva Goswami explains that certain deity forms, such as those made of sand, are manifested for a brief time to fulfill a personal desire of the worshipper. Those, however, who desire to attain pure love of God should worship the permanent form of the deity, made, for instance, of marble, gold, or brass, and they should maintain continual worship. In Krishna consciousness, there is no scope for neglecting the worship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Thank you, Samira. So we can see that there's specific information and instructions of how to worship. And in our parampara, there's Gopal Bhatta Goswami, who established the rules of deity worship. So we have a different scripture, especially by Gopal Bhatta Goswami. And here, Srijiv Goswami Maharaj is explaining about how a deity should be made of certain, according to Srimad Bhatti, is made of certain form, of certain uh, things like sand, or stone, wood, metal, earth, paint, or even the mind. So you can the deity can be mind. So that's very personal desire of the worshipper. But in our society, most of our temples in ISKCON, all the deities are made of marble or brass, a mixture. Just like in Washington D.C., Krishna is made of Panchadhatu, and Radharani is made of Panch Dhatu, and Krishna is made of marble. So that's a combination. So we have a very strict standard of worship, which follows the Ashtakala Lila of Krishna. So in the spiritual world, there's 8 periods of the different pastimes of Radha and Krishna. So that is being replicated in the material world in different timings of deity worship that takes place in our temple. Let us see next shloka in Shrimad Bhagavatam.
Hare
Uh,
Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam.
yeah,
Prabhuji, Janvi is having questions.
okay,
Uh,
Janavi is having a question.
yeah,
Yes,
Janvi, please.
Yeah, I put the question in the chat. I said, do you need certain qualifications to perform deity worship?
yeah. So to perform deity worship in our society, you need to have second initiation. So the first initiation is to follow the 4 principles and chanting 16 rounds. That's the first initiation. And after that, you have to be follow a Bhakti Shastri course, which involves a study of the scripture. And then when you are qualified and you're steady in your service from the temple, then you get Brahman initiation. So you get sacred thread initiation. For the boys, they have a sacred thread. But for girls, they don't wear sacred thread, but they get the mantra, the 7 mantras that they have to chant at 3 times a day, in the morning, at midday, and then at Sandhya. So you can worship deities, but you have to get initiated. This is twice initiation. So should be yeah. So that's then you can enter the deity area and do worship. Any more question on that, Henry? You're good. Okay, let's go on and see the next shloka from Srimad Bhagavatam. If we can continue, who wants to read? Let's see if you can raise your hands. Himanshu, want to try?
Yes.
Okay, Himanshu. Let me read the Srimad Bhagavatam shloka for you, make it easy, and then you can continue the translation, okay? So,
Yeah.
11:27:13. Chala chale te dvividha pratishta jiva mandiram udva shabane nastha stirayam udhav varshane. Translation, continue.
The, the deity form of the Lord, who is the shelter of all living entities, can be established in two ways, temporarily or permanently. But a permanent deity, having been called, can never be sent away, my dear Uddhava.
Yeah, you can
Purport.
continue.
Purport. The devotees of the Lord understand themselves to be the Lord's eternal servitors, recognizing the deity to be the Lord himself. They permanently install the deity and engage in perpetual worship. The impersonalists, whoever regard the eternal form of the Lord as a temporary manifestation of illusion, in fact, they regard the deity form as a mere stepping stone in their ambitious program to become God. Materialistic persons of whatever stripe consider the Lord to be their order supplier, and so they make temporary arrangements for religious ceremonies to achieve temporary material sense gratification. This temporary mode of worship is favored by those desiring to explore the personality of Godhead for their personal ends, whereas the loving devotees in Krishna consciousness eternally engaged in worship of the personality of Godhead. They install permanent deities meant to be worshipped perpetually. Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
So you can see here the deity or form of the Lord is a shelter of living entities. जो भक्त होते हैं वो भगवान को अपना लेते हैं कि वो समझ जाते हैं कि ये जो भगवान है, ये अवतार है, ये मूर्ति जो है, ये आइडल नहीं है, ये भगवान साक्षात भगवान है। तो वह यहाँ पे कृष्ण भगवान उद्धव जी को बता रहे हैं 11वें स्कंद में, समझा रहे हैं कि जब हम लोग एक विग्रह को स्थापित करते हैं, स्वयं कृष्ण भगवान कह रहे हैं कि जब हम एक कृष्ण भगवान को स्थापित करते हैं तो हम लोगों को ये विग्रह का सेवा हमेशा के लिए करना चाहिए। ऐसा नहीं कि स्थापित किया तो फिर निकालना, रोक सकते हैं उसका सेवा। So once we established a deity is for permanent and it's perpetual worship. And this is how in our Vaishnava tradition, in our Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya in ISKCON, we look at the deities as Sakshat Bhagwan, is Krishna himself there. And we give the service. When we serve the deities as a king, with all the pujaris having different timings to wake up the deities, and then have Mangal sweets offered to the deities and have the Mangalarti. After that, we close the curtains, and then we do Abhishek, and Abhishek, that we elaborate deity worship with nice dressings. So every day we change their dressing. They have the day dress and have a night dress. We have special garlands every day, make fresh garlands, make fresh turbans. So we treat the Lord as himself. He's not like a deity. It's not like a idol, but as a Lord himself. For us, Radha Krishna is there. So we are serving, the pujaris come in that mood and serving the deity as they are there present on the altar. So the devotees of the Lord understand themselves to be the Lord's eternal servitors. We consider ourselves to be servants of the deities, recognizing the deity to be the Lord himself. And दूसरे मंदिर में ऐसा नहीं होता। दूसरे में कभी कभी ऐसा होता है, वहां पे रोज का डेटी वर्शिप नहीं होता है हर समय। कपड़ा नहीं बदलते हैं रोज, जो पोशाक है भगवान का नहीं बदलते हैं, एक हफ्ते में एक बार या 2 बार ऐसा. So the impersonalists, however, regard the eternal form of the Lord as temporary manifestation of illusion. So many people who study the Bhagavad Gita, they try to understand Krishna. They think that Krishna on the battlefield and Krishna God is different. They think that the form of the Lord in the material world is temporary. That's their conception. So इसीलिए वो निराकारवादी समझते कि भगवान निराकार है और साकार रूप उन्हें हम मानते. So they regard the deity form as a stepping stone to attain the Nirakar. This is how people understand in India mostly, and impersonalist people they understand like that. That is a deity is a way. भगवान का जो मूवी कर रहा है ये एक भगवान का निराकार रूप को प्राप्त करने के लिए एक तरीका होता है. Actually, it's wrong. Whereas devotees they understand that this is Sakshat Bhagwan, Bhagwan Kripa, mercy. That's a mercy of God that God manifested in this deity form. So once the deity is established in the temple, the daily activities of the Lord are reenacted on the altar. The daily activities that's being done in the spiritual world is being reenacted in the material world, and through a different schedule that we established in our ISKCON temples mainly. Just like I was explaining about in the morning, the dressing, and at midday there's a Raj Bhoga, and then after that you have Sandhya Aarti, and then Lord is changing after changing the dress into night dress, and then they're putting to rest at night. So that's how the altar services are being performed by trained priests. And these devotees chant different mantras in the glories of all the deities. So the Vaishnava temples, they are very particular about the personal presence of the lordships. So Jagannath Bhagwan is there, Nrsimha Bhagwan, Krishna Bhagwan, Ram Bhagwan. We are very, very cautious about that. So the other thing is one should worship, and Krishna himself in the Bhagavatam, Krishna is saying that he should be worshipped in the deity form by offering the most excellent paraphernalia, but a devotee completely freed from material desire may worship in any form. So 1 second, I'll just check that. So what I will do now, because this is a very long presentation, I will just end this one here. And we're going to, I sent you the on the WhatsApp, I sent you all a video of someone explaining about the temples. So I'm going to project this here, present this one here, so as and we can have a discussion on that. So that is part 1 of this. Let me share the other video. And you can see where it is. Give me 1 second. So let me see in Kishor group. Kishor. Yeah, Kishor group. Yeah. So I had these 2 videos, and then let me play this video, and then let's see if I can share this. Okay, now I'm trying to share this video. It's about temples. Share. Okay. Oh. Can you everybody can see the video?
We can't hear it.
You can't hear it, so 1 second. So I have to new share. I have to share sound as well. And then now I can share. Okay. Let me start that.
You will find is a stone. 6 to simple structure. Deep inside
Okay, now can you hear can you hear?
Yeah.
Very good.
the sanctum sanctorum, all you will find the temple structure. If you look at the temple structure, deep inside the sanctum sanctorum, all you will find is a stone. 6 to 7 feet or 9 feet, including the pedestal, etc. A whole lot of people are ridiculing why this much decoration to a stone. What's there in it? How can you worship this dumb stone as God? To all the idiots who are ridiculing idol worshipping, let's talk science, okay? What is it? It's a rock. What is rock? Rock is made up of metals and minerals. If you go to a valley and shout something, what does the rocks do? It will give you an echo. It's an open place. The sound travels, hits the rock and throws it back. This phenomena is called echo and it's scientifically proven, everybody knows it. Depending on how loud you send the sound waves, accordingly rocks will throw back an echo. Every rock, that's why you will hear 2-3 sounds at different intervals. Visually you cannot see what's happening, but you can hear it. This is in open space. Imagine if you're doing it in a closed place. What would be the amount of echo? Obviously much more than the open space. Let's get inside the temple. You will find a linga or a statue made of a rock. And it's placed in a closed wall structure with a Gali Gopuram on the top. That means a pyramid structure with a tip pointing to the sky. There will be no ventilation. Tight packed and covered with stone walls to a precision where even the light cannot enter. Now, people send some sounds to the rock. Not just today, it's been practiced since thousands of years. They are sending some sounds to the rock continuously, right from the morning to afternoon to evening till night, every day. We all know that sound has a form. To all the lower Q people, I'm going to show you a few experiments where particles form different patterns and forms due to various types of sounds. I saw a beautiful music video in this channel in which they show how water, fire, particles respond to the sound. It's an incredible experiment, you must watch it.
It is a film to describe to you the effect of cymatic frequencies.
Now, 72% of your body is water. 12% is earth, 6% is air, 4% is fire, and the remaining is space. Don't you think this sound has an impact on your system? Look at how drastically the water is responding to the sound. Similarly, fire. In fact, everything in the cosmos responds to the sounds. That's why yogis of the past have always said sound is the basis of existence. Every form is a certain reverberation of sound. If you master the sound, you can play with the 5 elements. That's how the sages of the past used to walk on water, disappear into the air, walk through the walls, etc. In Harry Potter movie, what you have seen is just a fiction story. But here, we have got yogis who did all that for real. Even though there are many mystics who can do these things, not just them, you and I can do it if we attain certain mastery over the sound. You need a perception beyond the senses to do that. For that, you need to do a different level of sadhana. You can't do that in a laboratory through some dumb experiment. All those who tried either ended up neurotic or died an utter failure. Wasted a lot of money in the research. So except dhyanam, technically there is no other way. Sorry to disappoint the people who are lazy to yoga. Okay, sound. I recommend you to watch more such experiments in YouTube to understand better what I'm trying to say here. Inside the temple, they chant some mantras. What happens is, the sound will touch the stone and bounce back in different directions. Because it's a closed room, the sound has to pass out through the main door. And whoever is standing in front will be completely soaked in that energy. Now, what do they chant? Vishnu Sahasranamam in the morning and Lalita Sahasranamam in the night. There is Shivopasana Mantram, Lingastakam, Am Namah Shivaya, Nirvana Shatakam, etc., which will have different impacts on the human system. I really wanted to check what impact these sounds have on the human system. So I went to a neurosurgeon to really experiment and document the impact of these sounds on the human brain, the human system. I took my friend Rahul for the EEG test. It's called electroencephalography, where you can see the brain activity, the activity of the nervous system of a person on a computer. We played Lalita Sahasranamam to him. Rahul, relax your face. ఒకసారి ఫస్ట్ నుంచి చదువు. రైట్. The kind of parasympathetic differences that he's getting is anonymous. Oh my god, then I understood. These sounds are engineered in such a way that the rhythm of the chant will go inside your parasympathetic nervous system and will put you into deep sleep within 3 to 5 minutes. First thing is, the chant is some thousands of years old. How could these ancient sages know that these sounds impact the parasympathetic nervous system? This they do it in the night. And in the morning they chant Vishnu Sahasranamam, the 1,000 names of Bhagavan Vishnu. And again, these sounds are engineered in such a way that it will wake you up to a peaceful and refreshing state of mind. I'm sure most of you are suffering with painful wake-ups, with such an irritated mind that you can't sleep and you don't enjoy waking up. If you listen to Vishnu Sahasranamam in the morning, it will clear all these clutches in the brain and you will be super fresh when you wake up. Even today you can go and check in Tirupati temple. They will chant Vishnu Sahasranamam in the morning and Lalita Sahasranamam in the night. This is a clear science evolved and being practiced in temples. Even now in most of the temples they're still doing it without knowing why they're doing. I went and asked one of the priests in my hometown. He said, no, they're doing it since so many years. Or they will say something like, it's good for your health, you will get money, pregnancy, etc. This is one more reason why temples are ending up in ruins here. There is no one to talk about the science behind it. Why sounds and why the rock? So they call this rock as God, and when you chant for God, their idea is to benefit the human beings living in the city. It's a free service. Will your doctors treat you for free? But these temples are doing it for free since ages. But now these temples are under attack. It's time to free them from government's control. Temples' properties are being looted. They think too much of gold is available there. You know what? The temple design is such, there will be a Dvajastambam, which is made of some metal, usually gold or copper. Brass is a good conductor of sound, gold is an excellent conductor of electricity, and it has higher receptivity of the energy. To all the idiots who are worried about so much gold being used in the temple construction, just smack them with this video. This is a clear science and most sophisticated engineering that even the modern science has no clue of. There is much more to the design of the temple. The design is such, the energy waves reverberated by the Gopuran will pass straight and touch the antenna kind of arrangement here and stored in the energy format. People are supposed to touch it, a lot of people touch their heads without knowing why they are doing it. And then you're supposed to walk into the space which is filled with this energy transmitted by the rock inside. Doesn't matter whether you're a Muslim, Hindu or a Christian, you can't escape the energy. You'll be bathed in the glory of that energy. You can actively feel the difference after you pass through the path.
So I hope you enjoy this video. It's a very long one, so I'll stop it here. So it's 10:49. So we'll just, since we are not so many, so we'll break into pairs, and you can discuss with your friends. So I'll just put you in pairs. I'll use a breakout room, and then you will going to discuss and share your experiences of yourself going to a temple, and then in responding to that video, how you felt. Yeah, this is true, you felt something, and that's the scientific explanation. And you can just share your comments on the video as well, and with respect to your experience, because all of you have been going to temples. So let me try to put you in breakout room.
I'm not sure if breakout room will work because we are using another Zoom ID today. So I don't think settings have started.
Okay. So if we don't have that, then maybe then I'll give maybe I'll ask individually सब लोगों को एक वीडियो के बारे में मैं वो प्रश्न मैं chat box में भेजता हूँ, so as you can answer that. So you can take a few moments and just write an answer in a few sentences about answering this question. Okay, so explain. So explain in a few words your temple experience and what you learned from the video. So you can combine both of them together and take a moment, think about it. And if you're ready, you raise your hand and we'll hear and share our experiences. Since childhood, you've been going to the temple. What's your feeling when you go inside the temple? How do you feel the vibration, especially, and when you see the deities? And of course, this video has a scientific way of setting things up. But what do you think? You can your critique about the video. तो आप कृपया करके वीडियो के बारे में भी बताइए, क्या आप सहमत है जो बताया गया वीडियो में, और आपकी जो जब मंदिर आप जाते हैं बचपन से आप गए हुए, क्या आपका एक्सपीरियंस के बारे में भी बता सकते हैं आप लोग। तो जब आप लोग के 2-3 शब्द लिख दिया पॉइंट्स में, आप हैंड्स रेज करके सबको मौका मिलेगा अपने एक्सपीरियंसेस को शेयर करने के लिए।
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Janvi is ready. She wrote the answer in the chat.
Okay, we'll tell her to. Janavi, can you unmute and explain what's your experience?
Yeah. So first for the video, I think it was a very good video because I could explain like why things are set up the way they are in temples, and that's not something we really like learn about. And then also my personal experience in temples. Like going to the temple, I would say the main thing that like strikes me going to the temple would be the the energy in the temple. And I think that energy for me, like it mostly comes like with the people that are there that like build the energy in the temple that makes the experience like so nice and like calming and everything. And yeah.
तो जानवी कह रहे हैं कि जो भक्त के संग जो है, संगत जो है मंदिर में, वो भी बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है कि जो एनर्जी जो फीलिंग होता है भक्तों का संग से भी होता है। प्रभुपाद जी भी कहते हैं कि कलयुग में हम लोग भक्तों का संग करना चाहिए। अगर हम मंदिर बड़ा बड़ा बनाए थे लेकिन भक्त नहीं है तो कोई फायदा नहीं है। भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर कहते थे कि अगर भक्त नहीं है तो सब एक एक मार्बल जो है मंदिर में बेच करके प्रचार करना चाहिए ताकि मंदिर भक्त लोग आए। तो बिना भक्त के मंदिर नहीं होता। So that's why it's very important for us to be able to have good association of devotees in the temple. Or what about the video? If you understand physics specifically, that's why I told you have to study physics so you can understand things how they really are. Prabhupada used to say science is real science explains things how they really are. And they are very scientifically built, all these ancient temples. And you can see the energy, how it flows. Okay. Chalo, next
Ria.
I can see
Ria is ready. Next, Ria.
Ria, आप please unmute करके share कर सकते हैं अपने experience को।
She wrote her answer in the chat.
Okay. रत्न माता जी आप पढ़ सकते हैं उसका आंसर अगर वो नहीं पढ़ना चाहते हैं तो।
Ria, please unmute yourself so you can read your answer, Vita.
Krishna Mataji. Mataji, I haven't put the answer in the chat box.
Yeah.
Is here.
So
Please, Ria.
Sorry, Khushi. Sorry. Okay. So, Khushi, can you read your answer, please? Unmute yourself. Khushi, are you there?
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Today I always felt energetic and positive when I used to visit the temple, especially ISKCON temples, because I always feel that ISKCON temples are different from the other temples. No, I never knew that our culture is so scientific.
So ये अच्छा है खुशी जी, thank you. तो आप बचपन आप मंदिर जाते हैं तो कौन सा मंदिर में जाते थे वहां पे आपके जगह पे? खुशी जी?
Durgiana temple,
ओ दुर्गियाना
local
टेम्पल।
temples.
कोई प्राचीन मंदिर गए थे आप अमृतसर से में?
Yeah, Durgiana temple.
ओके, और प्राचीन नहीं?
No,
ओके, मैं जब
actually
अमृतसर
मैं
में गए थे काफी काफी और बहुत प्राचीन एक गणेश मंदिर है, काफी प्राचीन था, वो तो साउथ इंडियन स्टाइल में बने।
मॉडल टाउन माता रानी टेम्पल.
ओ राधा रानी का टेम्पल मॉडल टाउन में, सही बोला। तो जनरली यही है कि जो वाइब्रेशन है, इसीलिए जब जहाँ भगवान का रहते हैं ऑल्टर पे, तो उसका स्थान है, वो जगह पे आप देखेंगे ऊपर एक शिखर होता है, तो शिखर आप देखेंगे तो हमेशा वो एक वाइब्रेशन मिलता है उस जगह को, जस्ट लाइक द पर्सन एक्सप्लेन साइंटिफिकली एक्सप्लेन किया कैसे वो वाइब्रेशन वो इको होता है। तो दैट्स इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू कैच। इसीलिए जब भी और हमारे मंदिर में भी ऐसा है, और जब भी हम भगवान को स्थापित करते हैं उसके ऊपर कोई नहीं चलना चाहिए, क्योंकि भगवान के ऊपर कुछ नहीं, इसलिए वो शिखर भी बनते हैं ऊपर ताकि कोई न चले। At the same time, it serves the purpose of vibration as well, increasing the vibration multifold times. इसलिए chanting of the mantra is very very important. और दूसरे, हिमांशु, you ready to share?
Not yet, Prabhuji.
Okay, we'll ask Samira. Samira, are you ready to share?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, go on.
So the video, it was very amazing. You get to know like the significance of the rocks and the bouncing back of the sound and how good effect it has on your health, on your brain. So it's really good to know about all these things that we have been practicing since so long in our culture. Moreover, whenever I go to a temple, uh, it's a very different feeling altogether. It's very soothing. A different vibe is there, positivity. Then the deities, they are so mesmerizing. Then you cannot even take your eyes off them. And the kirtan which is being played, it just feels a different level of energy in you. It's so refreshing.
Thank you, Samira. This is very, very interesting. You mentioned one thing about for the mind. So when you go there, your mind feels very peaceful. And in the video, it was mentioned that there are specific mantras that have been chanting in the morning. And just like in our tradition, our Vaishnava tradition, we chant Samsara Dava prayers in the morning. You see, and that's the different prepares your mind. And whenever you chant the Samsara prayers in the morning, it's so powerful and so much of energy, and that you're actually imbibed with so much energy for the whole day. इसलिए हमारे मंदिर में हम लोग मंगल आरती जब करते हैं, समसारा दवा प्रेयर्स गाते हैं सुबह, तो कितना शक्ति मिलते हैं हम लोगों को क्या और विकार करें। और रात को एक शाइन काल में एक दूसरा आरती होता है, शाइन वाला आरती होते हैं जो हम लोग गाते हैं। And in the South India temple, in the video, you could see that they have Lalita Chakras नाम जो भी वो गाते हैं शाम को। So that is different. And in the Pushti Marg also, you will see in the Pushti Marg, they have different songs at different time as well. Some songs are chanted for Krishna from wake up, some during the midday, and then there's one shine artist song. All these have a different effect on our mind. Right? That is very interesting. Let us see another who is
Riya.
ready.
Now, Prabhuji, Riya, she already wrote the answer. Riya, please unmute yourself and turn on your camera, please. Riya, are you there, beta? Yes. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, whenever I go to the temple, I feel always the positive vibrations, and whenever I see the deities, I feel like I forget all my problems, and it is especially the ISKCON temples. I feel very positive vibrations.
Okay, which temple you've been going when you were a kid in your
Prabhuji,
area? Which temple is there?
in Surat, it is ISKCON temple.
Oh, since childhood you've been going to the ISKCON temple.
No, Prabhuji, it's not from childhood, but It was been 2-3 years or more.
Okay, very nice. What about the when you were a child? What would you remember an old temple, an ancient temple you've been to? Like a Vedic ancient temple.
It's not that experience closely. No experience word.
Have you ever gone to the Dwarka temple or in the Soma temple in Dwarka, the Shiv temple? No? Ancient temple?
I won't say I have gone to Somnath temple, but I haven't traveled the Dwarka temple.
Okay, yes, okay. So usually when you go to Swaminarayan temple, it's so big and nicely made. And, you know, it's like you can feel the vibration. That's why the architecture is made in such a way that you get those vibrations, you know. And remember, it's our body. It's a journey inside us. This is a place where we meditate and all this positive vibration and like a magnet comes. We are attracted to that because we are like that. We are spiritual by nature. And the temple is a spiritual place. So that's why we connect to that place. Okay. Okay, Riyase, Samara. Himanshu, now your turn. Himanshu. Himanshu not ready yet? Come on, you write it down. I want you to tell us. You can unmute and tell us. I can read your message, but
Hare Krishna, Himanshu, please turn on your camera also while reading. You wrote very nicely on the chat.
Yes. I like the video, and today I learned about the science behind the sound and the rock, and he showed us the impact of sound on how human system is through playing the Lalita Shastrakam to his friend, and he mentioned that this sound is made in such a way that rhythm of the chant will go inside the
parasympathetic nervous system.
nervous system and will put you in deep sleep within 3 to 5 minutes. So this was something new for me.
Good. If you don't feel if you can't sleep at night, you can listen to the Lalita Shastranam.
Yeah.
Okay, now you can listen instead of listening to rock music, you will never sleep. So you have to listen to the Shastranam. Okay.
Yeah.
Or you can chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra also. Don't worry, you have to chant.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think everybody answered. Are we missing anyone here? I think everybody's answered. So we'll continue next week. We'll have a little bit more on the sacred architecture of different temples. You get a chance to see, especially in Vrindavan, is the city of temples, and we have so many temples, like 5,000 temples in Vrindavan. So we'll get a chance to look at different temples, like Vrindavan temples, Mayapur temples, their architecture and everything. And then we will continue with our syllabus. Hare Krishna, thank you for participating. We'll wish you a happy Ram Navami is coming next week. So all a happy Ram Navami to everybody. And Ram Janam Mandir is being built in India. So that's a good meditation for you guys for this week. You talk about temples and building temples also. The Ram temple in Ayodhya. So
I
we'll
have a
talk
question. Another
yeah.
question.
Yeah.
So what are like the differences between deity worship in the temple and deity worship at home?
Okay, there's no much difference between the deity at home and the temple. It's the same. Actually, Prabhupada says the deity at home is an expansion of the deity in the temple. So wherever you reside, that's like that's why Prabhupada established the names of the deities in the temple as a particular place, like London Ishwara, Paris Ishwara, means the Lord of Paris, the Lord of London. This name was given to one of the deities in London, London Ishwara, Paris Ishwara, for instance. That was named by Srila Prabhupada. So Srila Prabhupada is teaching us that your deities that you have at home is an expansion of that presiding deity of that city. So if you were in London, so London Ishwara, your deity at home is expansion of London Ishwara. So you have to serve the deity with the same awe and reverence and same love that you show at the temple. So it's so although that in at home the deity worship standards may not be so strict as in the temple, but it's a home worship, so we have a very not so elaborate worship, meaning that you can have a fixed number of times where you're going to offer. But it's like in the temple we offer like 7 times. We can't offer that at home 7 times because you have to go to work and all these things. But at least you can offer food in the morning and evening. You can do arti in the morning and evening, or you can change the dress once a week, twice a month, like in Ekadashi days. So these are concessions that we make regarding deity worship at home as compared to deity worship in the temple. Okay. Hare Krishna. Okay, see you guys next week. Happy Ram Navami again to everybody, and we have Hanuman Jayanti also. I think next week or the end towards. So hopefully we'll meet next week, and we'll continue the sessions. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu.
Very
Radhe
much,
Radhe.
Prabhu. Thank you, all
Hare
children.
Bol.
Thank you, Mataji.